Okay, so we're back, and I'm now recording this a different way. So you were telling me you think with your
Okay,
laptop you're
so
doing.
so what I have to do is I have to bring Chrome up, and then the Google toolbar. When I click on the link from the email,
Hmm.
it's gonna throw me into Safari, and it's going to give me a window that says I have to use Chrome. Well, if I copy and paste the link on that page and paste it into the toolbar, the Google toolbar in Chrome, boom, it pops right up. I mean,
Okay.
it's an extra step, but I don't really want to change my default to Chrome because I'm just so used to Safari.
Well, here's the thing too. I could generate a link for you that would be permanent, and then you could have it forever. And whenever you wanted to jump into the podcast, you just click it, and it would bring you in since you would have basically like admin status.
So I could like save it in like on like a favorites bar or
Yeah,
something.
save it in your favorites bar of your browser. And again, if for some reason it doesn't work, you know how to let me send you another one if it does expire or something. So
Okay. Well, okay. So this is this is good.
this is a good test. Danny, bless his heart. People wonder where Danny's at today. Um, I texted him. And I was like, "Tim, I'm trying to do audio testing for a few days," and I reached out. I was like, "Danny, hey, are you up for an audio test today?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything in my hospital room." I was like, "What the hell?" So he literally, I was doing an audio test with him, and you weren't available. He was in his hospital room, and then we had to stop because they had to come in and take him in for like X-ray or something.
Huh.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I think he said he's having some kind of hernia thing fixed.
yeah. If there goes, oh hey, we're going to call from HR. There goes the HIPAA thing. Great, thanks. Just what I need now. HR in here. So, and I'm not going to edit that shit out. I'm not going to. Don't think just because we switched to the fancy software,
Look,
you can be less disciplined, and I'm going to save you.
look, let me tell you something. It's not a HIPAA violation if you tell me you have the crack AIDS. It's only a HIPAA violation if I go like rooting through your filing cabinet and see your crack AIDS report.
or see your crack AIDS medicine bottle.
Yeah. So
Speaking of which, weren't you sick as a dog like 2 days ago?
yeah, I was. I'm
Yeah, it
not
was.
100% over it, but yeah, I'm. Man, I tell you what, between being sick and trying to fix the Suburban, my ass has been kicked.
So the Marine One landed in your front yard. You got out, walked to the edge of your driveway, took your mask off, put two thumbs up, and said, "Don't let the coronavirus, dominate your life."
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I've got the Suburban back together. I got to go get a couple gallons of antifreeze to purge the system. My whole cooling system's filled with air now, so
Oh yeah.
I got to bleed that and then just check for leaks and then put my air cleaner box back on and we'll be good to go. But it was a bitch. But do you remember? You probably don't remember, but I said a couple of months ago I had a leak in the Suburban.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it wasn't an oil leak, you know, and I knew it was kind of like a oily antifreeze type thing, but I didn't really know where it was coming from, and I really wasn't too interested in tracking it down. Well, I know where it's coming from now, and hopefully that is now fixed.
Oh, that's good. So,
So,
well,
because
since this is going to be car talk, well, after you're done with your Suburban, I'll share my Tundra story.
okay,
So so so, are you going to purge your lines today?
yeah. Basically, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna take off and get some antifreeze because I only have like a half gallon, and I'm probably going to need a couple of gallons minimum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Well, my thing was not as serious as yours. I had I parked my truck for basically 2 days. Take the weekend off, like I never do that.
Yeah.
And I went out to start my truck, and it was dead, and the battery was only 22 months old. It's like,
See
what the
that
hell?
that man, to have a battery less than 2 years old go south on you like that, that's just not normal.
I pulled it off and put it on a trickle charger overnight, and put it back in, and wouldn't start, and the meter showed it only had 44 amps on it. And
Yeah,
so I took it up to Toyota. I looked at the battery, and it's one of these, you know, rebranded Toyota batteries. Like they were like, they must have told me, hey, you want to have the Toyota battery as opposed to whatever because they're great.
yeah. See, the thing is, Toyota doesn't make their own batteries. They just
Oh no,
they just have Johnson Controls or whoever stick a Toyota
Interstate or
label
Johnson
on it.
Controls, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, this is look, Toyota putting a battery in my truck is no different than Blaser wanting to put a scope on my rifle. They want to have more money from that product. They want, why should Interstate Controls make all the money from the battery, not Toyota? So they must have worked out some kind of deal, and they're getting bulk rates on batteries. But here's my question: do you honestly believe? Again, I don't know how they work at the battery place, but whatever, there has to be a battery in, say, Johnson Controls. That's like the Saddam Hussein gold-plated AK-47, like Pimp Daddy, Mac Daddy motherfucking battery. Like whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like it's more battery than you'll ever need. Like it's
Yeah.
stupid to spend that kind of money, but if you want to make it, if you're gonna buy it, they're gonna make it. I guarantee you, whatever battery Toyota is buying and rebranding is not that battery. It's probably something less. And my argument is, if I'm going to get a Toyota battery, it better be the best battery because I want the best battery, even if it's gold-plated AK-47 Saddam Hussein stupid.
Yeah.
Because I change my batteries early. I don't let my batteries die. And I was just like, so I went to Toyota with my battery in hand. You can tell they were like, what are you doing here with the battery? And they were a little cagey about it, but they tested it. They were like, oh, I guess you get a brand new battery, no free charge. And, I'll give it another chance. Maybe it was just a statistical anomaly. Hey, look, we say it all the time in the gun community. Ferrari has a service department too. So maybe it just was, just a fluke. But like,
You know what? Here's the thing. I think it was a fluke because regardless of who makes Toyota's batteries for them, dude, seriously, man, even a Chinese-made battery is going to last 2 years. I mean, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So now, like, I always use AC Delco batteries because they're GM-made batteries. They're made in like Saudi Arabia or something. They're not made here in the U.S.
oh really?
But they're not like rebranded like Johnson Controls or the other big one.
Johnson or Interstate.
Interstate, yeah. I mean, they're not rebranded. In Interstate and Johnson Controls, they make all the batteries for like AutoZone, Pep Boys, and that. GM AC it makes AC Delco. Now Toyota batteries are
I don't know.
I think they're made by Panasonic.
Really?
I do believe they are. It's Panasonic makes them for Toyota, and I don't know if they make them for anyone else, but look, Toyota's not going to use an Interstate battery. Toyota's a big enough corporation that they're going to have someone make a battery for them, or they're going to be in a joint venture with someone making a battery for them, and that makes sense because that's what Ford and GM and they all do.
Okay.
But again, regardless if Jim Bob made this battery by melting his own lead plates and forming his own 3D plastic in his basement, dude, a car battery is going to last 2 years. I mean, the fact that this didn't make it 2 years, I'm calling it's It's just a weird fluke.
Okay. See, well, that makes me feel better because I just was thinking, because I'm out of cars. I mean, I'm about.
Yeah.
But I just was thinking, well, gosh, I put this Toyota battery in my truck, and I haven't had a battery issue in any. I have so many vehicles since like the '90s, and it's like, what the hell?
This is just an odd fluke. I mean, this isn't. And look, I take every opportunity I can to shit on Toyota. You know that.
Oh.
But this is not. Oh yeah, shitty Toyota battery. Told you, dude. No.
That's true. Right? You know what? The truth is, the fact you aren't swan diving into this like a samurai warrior wanting to just tear this apart, I guess I should be like, okay, if Free says it's all right, I guess it's okay. Because, yeah, you would not pass up the opportunity to take a big old steaming turd on my truck.
Hey, look, the fact that they replaced the battery at no charge, no harm, no foul.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you a story. Because they were creepy up there. So at the parts department. So I walk into the parts department. I got this acidy slimed out battery in my hands with my gloves on. Try not to get it on my shirt. Holding it away from my body. Put it on the counter, and I was like, "So can you guys look up my service records from in here?" And the guy behind the counter, he's like, "Maybe." Like it's sort of like, okay, like this. So it's like, so he's like, so you need a battery, huh? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, when? Well, he goes, when do you think you bought the battery? And I said, less than 2 years ago. Like, and then he's looking at the computer, like he was waiting. Like it almost seemed like if I had said the wrong thing, they might have let me buy the battery. But then here was the final straw. So then, like, a guy turns around and goes like, hey, Jimbo, can you test the battery? And so Jimbo comes out, and he's at the counter, and he's got his little fluke meter, or whatever it is, and pulls the battery down the lower part of the counter, and he turns the meter on, because it's face up. Like, everyone knows what a meter looks like. Yeah. They're all basically the same. He turns it on its side, so I can't see the readout. and then connects it to the battery, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, I gotta think about changing to a different service place, because this is just creepy as hell.
Because that in itself is a little on the weird and bizarre side, because it's like any time you feel that they're trying to like hide things from you, it's like, come on.
That's what it felt like. Are you moving your microphone?
Yeah, I'm adjusting the microphone, so you're probably hearing microphone noise.
It sounds like Odin is taking a shit right now. Is what it sounds like. So.
No, I was. You know how you got the knobs on the side of the microphone? You can adjust the angle of it.
Oh yeah.
I was twisting those. So
well, since this is an audio test and not a real podcast episode, I'm not going to start yelling at everybody for making crazy bullshit noises.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a long time since we've used this setup, so I'm trying to just kind of get the feel of where everything is and the best place for it to be and whatnot.
That's good. So.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the audio. Well, there's a couple things that will happen here. We'll stop having audio drift, and if people listen to our podcast, they'll know what that is. The audio quality should be a lot better.
Hopefully,
you sound really good. Like I'd be willing to bet you that people listening to this podcast right now would not be able to really tell that we're not in the same room. Shit, we're not even in the same part of town.
Hell, sometimes when we're doing the podcast, we're not even in the same state.
Yes, and that's the other thing. This solution that I'm playing with now, because as a matter of fact, can't go into details, but I will be in Washington, D.C. here shortly. We'll probably have to do a podcast remotely, and it would be convenient for me to be able to do a podcast, say, without having to set up a full audio suite. Even if the quality of the audio goes down to what we had before for those episodes when I'm traveling, it's still going to be a lot better than what we've been experiencing for the past like 6-8 months.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was really disappointed in the last podcast because the last podcast we did, which if this does get published, is a test podcast. Our listeners won't know what it is because we didn't publish it, but it was a good podcast, man. There was some awesome content in it.
Yeah, the last podcast we went for a long time, and there was a lot of stuff about the debates, a lot of stuff about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it was so.
There was a lot of gun content in it. It was a great podcast, but the quality was so crappy.
I wouldn't publish it. I was like, sorry guys, I listened to this.
Yeah, I know you were pissed.
I get pissed off. The biggest way to piss me off is to not cost me money, cost me time. You waste my time, and I'm going to take your head off. And I just seriously pissed off.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We recorded that podcast, so I got up that morning, did what we have to do, and we're getting ready. Then we did the podcast for about an hour and a half, which was pretty long. And then I was futzing with it for the next 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I had a full work day into this thing. And I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? It's time to just throw the bullshit flag and pop smoke on this service.
Well,
so,
I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what we need to do. I guess we need to do another sound check with Danny when he becomes available.
For all I know, Danny right now is under general anesthesia, getting his, getting a colonoscopy or something. Like, I have no idea why he's even in the hospital. So you said a hernia, but we'll do something. Danny may not be available for a few days, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but let's try this weekend to let's try to actually get a recordable podcast up.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to publish this.
Yeah, but I'd still like to record a real podcast.
Yeah, we will. So, but I'd like people to know why we've gone dark. Like there's so
well,
much
and yeah, you know what? No, I'm all for publishing this, but I don't think it's like, okay, if we publish this, we can't put a real podcast up a day or two later either.
I agree. You're right.
Because this is just, you'll play with this, you'll tweak it, you'll maybe do some splicing, because we've done 3 different sound checks.
4, I think. Well, yeah,
maybe 4, but you'll probably work them into 1.
Oh, this is my 9th sound check today, and this doesn't even count what I was doing yesterday. So,
yeah. So, but yeah, everything. Yeah, I mean, shit, it's feeling good. So, but tomorrow I'm going to be tied up till, let's see, probably 10 o'clock.
Okay.
In the morning. I'm going to be tied up between 5 and 10.
Okay. Well, I'll be some traveling issues I have over the next few days. So definitely by Monday I'll be out of pocket. So I don't know what I'll be able to get away with. We may not be able to get a podcast, a real one recorded until maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So.
Okay. Well.
So I got to go take care of something. So. All right, well, I guess this wraps up the sound test episode of the John 1911 podcast. If you want to see any stories or pictures of links of anything we discussed, or if you have any comments about how crappy we sound on audio, go to our website in the comments section. That's john1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. Remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun. Everybody, have a good day.
See you later.
Say that again.
See you later.
There you go. All right.